Anthony was telling me a bit about you, but I wanted to know the full story. So when did you realize you had this gift?
Oh, man, probably about 15 years ago. I used to do physical therapy for a living.
Okay.
Um, and I had what is called a spontaneous awakening. It's not like I studied this. It's not like I was raised around knowing anything about it. Um, Literally one day when I was in my garden, felt like I was being watched, stood up, looked around, and sure enough, saw spirit standing objectively in the space with me. So that's when you see them with you versus seeing them in your mind's eye. That's subjective viewing. So in that moment, I couldn't shake it. Everywhere I looked, he showed up. Um, I was married at the time. It was my husband's grandfather who had passed away 6 months prior. And I thought, why the hell do I keep seeing him? And so I would turn and look a different direction, and there he would be again.
And you knew that he had passed. So you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I couldn't move away from it. So, just out in the field in my garden, I then was like, okay, if I can't ignore you, then, might as well ask you, like, what do you want?
Right, yeah.
So, long story short, he pulled a pocket watch out of his pocket, showed it to me. I could see like the filigree. Now, mind you, though, this is like he's like 25 feet away from me, but it's also as if he was right in front of me. He didn't talk, his lips didn't move, but he was talking to me.
Okay.
And he was showing me things.
And not to cut you off, and does it look like a person? Does it look just like this, or does it look a different,
No, he looked just like me and you look in the room, but I knew like he died 6 months ago. Like, what the hell's going on? Because again, like I wasn't raised around metaphysical understanding anything,
Right.
afterlife. Like I didn't know anything about this stuff. But he showed me the pocket watch. I could see the filigree. I could see that it was engraved, and I was just like, okay, great. Like, what the hell does that mean? Finally, I got up the courage to ask my mother-in-law, because it was her father,
Okay.
why would I keep seeing your dad? Like, believe it or not, I see him and he keeps showing me this pocket watch. What does that mean to you? And she went and got the pocket watch. And apparently he carried it every day for years and years before he died. And it was just as I described. It had filigree on it. And so, there was no real message behind the pocket watch. It was just something for me to validate and have an understanding that communication was happening here, or trying to happen. And so then things like this kept happening. And I mean, imagine working in a nursing home doing physical therapy where you're also
surrounded by older people
where they drop dead left and right, and you're a psychic medium, and you're like, deciphering the difference between reality and this psychic awareness was like the lines were starting to bleed together a little bit, and it was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's crazy.
You handled that very well, though, for someone seeing, like, if I saw a ghost, I probably would have fainted.
And that was going to be my other question. Is that a ghost, or is that just a spirit? Or like, are there classifications? How does that work?
I think this is so controversial because people say that there are ghosts and spirits, and there's a difference. To me, I feel like a spirit is spirit.
Right.
Where they exist on the spectrum of conscious awareness, that's going to that's going to be all the difference as far as what type of spirit you're interacting with and what the experience is going to be like. Some of them can be sort of stuck in a looping thought pattern.
And this is the spirit or the person experience?
Spirit.
Oh, the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some of them are highly evolved. It just kind of depends on like their will, because you're
It's like people.
Uh-huh.
Some people are just stuck in a loop. Other people are highly evolved.
Yeah.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like that. And when we cross over, we don't move away. We still have work to do. Like it's not like we just go there and it's happy and the end and there's rainbows and butterflies. No way.
There's not. Damn.
Wait, no. Wait, what do you mean there's not rainbows? Like, no.
You can have your rainbows and butterflies, but there's still work to do.
You could go down the street here in Hollywood and find rainbows and butterflies, bro.
Okay, so my thing is I've always been scared or not willing to communicate. I've always been of the understanding that energy never dies. Energy doesn't go anywhere. You can't
That's
destroy
right.
it. So if you can't destroy it, it just transfers somewhere. So where does it transfer to? I've always been scared to try to talk or communicate with any type of afterlife, ghost,
Mm.
anything, because I've always felt like if you give it your energy, then it has the energy to respond and communicate with you. And I don't really want any type of, I don't want to talk to the wrong ghost. I'm not trying to I've seen too many movies.
And that's what I think. I'm like, you think of the movies, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I want to know, like, has all of your communications and chats been nice and pleasant, or do some of them get kind of whoa?
Yeah.
Like Scary Movie 2 or whatever that was.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
don't know about you, Winston. I don't know about you.
Why are you shaking the table?
it's a good question though. Anthony and I were just talking about this last night. It's really a matter of first, like if you're going to move into the space, because truly everyone has the ability. Not everyone can cultivate it in a functional way because you don't have the inner stillness or silence, or like self-mastery. You have to be able to move far beyond your own fear limitations of story projection. Like what could be? What if I talk to something I don't want to? If you can't master that, you're not ready to enter into that space. Because, I mean, on a very true and deep level, you have to understand that, and this has to be so matter of fact for you if you're going to be in this space, that what you set your intentions to do and see and experience, it will be that way. It will be as such. And that's a faith experience, truly.
Okay.
You know?
So it's basically almost like the, in a sense, like the manifestation of like, oh no, I'm going to have this kind of interaction. I'm going in with this mindset, opposed to,
Yeah.
oh, anything can happen. I'm kind of scared,
Right.
and this is
Right, because if you don't define the space that you're going to open yourself up in, then you should be scared.
So you're not just opening the floodgates to everybody to come in.
Absolutely.
You're
Right.
just kind of like channeling.
Right. Now that doesn't mean that I haven't seen some crazy shit and had some crazy shit come through.
I'm gonna.
Elaborate.
You don't ever bring this up, but I remember you told me nonchalant one time on the phone, and she's like, "I just saw a man in my living room," and I was like, "Did you call the cops?" Like, what do you mean you saw a man in your living room? She was like, "Yeah, I walked in and he was looking like he was looking for his keys. He looked like flustered, and he looked at me with a scared face." And then she told him, "Nope, you can't be here." And then he just left. And I'm sitting there. And then we went on with the rest of the conversation. I was like, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because, you know what? Like you're a little kid, you walk in your living room, you feel like someone's there. Now I feel like I'm always right.
Yeah, scared of the dark.
Like someone's just going to like pop up and there's just a guy looking for his keys in my living room and doesn't even know where he is.
He don't even know where that car is. He's been gone for 50 years.
That's right.
That Chevy don't exist. Fuck them keys.
But do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I remember him.